Alright, a system of two linear equations has infinite. Infinite. What does this mean? Many solutions. So that's when it's any number we plug into it can be. We can get a solution. So there's more than one. So there's one solution, no solution, or infinite. And what it actually ends up being is we need to be looking for an equation that is the same. Alright, for example, so x minus 3y equals 9. One equation that's the same would be this. If I took these and multiplied this all by 2. New equation is, and I'll rewrite it down here, 2x minus 6y equal 18. I could also, hint hint, do this. Let me do it all in purple again. X minus 3y equals 9. I could take that and multiply by a -1. And let's see what happens there. So we're looking for an equation that is the same. So the same. Alright, so let's move on and look at one of the other problems here. So this one, again, we've looked at quite a few times. So I hope we're getting used to this. B is right here. So there's my B. So B, or let's do this. Y equals M x plus B. This is just our standard equation of a line. So anytime you're looking, and B is and I'll write this out again for us. M equals our slope. So M equals our slope, and B equals our y-intercept. So I've identified B, and then the best way to find my slope is find a point on the line that's pretty, so maybe right here. Oops. I'm going right there. This point right here is, whoops, 12, 16, we'll say. It's tough to tell. You're going to have to guess a little and make sure you look. And the reason it's 12, 16 is because 12, and then we'll go all the way over to 16. Right? 12, 16. Remember, that first number goes left and right. And that's my x, comma, y, which goes up and down. And then this point you could use, which is 0, comma, and I'll let you figure that out. Enter the x coordinate of the solution to this system of equations. Alright, well, there's a few ways we could go about this. Let's use substitution. And I'll try and show you linear combinations as well. I'll do both. So substitution. First step. Alright, so I wrote down a quick list of steps. I made it pretty short, but the basic steps are there. Solve for a variable. It could be x or y. So let's look at this. and you're going to substitute, and then you're going to solve for x and y. So the equation is this. I'm going to look at equation. Negative 4x plus y equals 8. So what am I going to do? I want to solve for y, because y has no variables next to it, or coefficients. So I could do it in one step. Add 4x to both sides. And what I'm going to get is y equals 8 plus 4x. Now, I'm going to take this and put it into right here. That y. So that goes right in there. And then you'll solve for x, and then you go back and solve for y. Okay, so linear combinations. This is the other way. So what I'm going to do is try and get rid of one variable. So how to do that? I'm going to multiply. I'm going to cancel these y's out. I'm going to try and I could theoretically subtract these and do the same thing, but I'm going to show you, because no one's seen this yet. This is an easy way to do it, but it gets confusing at first. It's like finding a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this equation by -1, and you'll see what happens. So this equation will become this, and then I'm going to rewrite the other one below it. So I'll write this one in red, so it'll become, so this is going to be multiplied by -1 every single term. So -1 times there, -1 there, -1 there. Okay? So that's what's happening. So negative 4x becomes, all the signs are just going to change. 4x minus y equals -8. And then let's rewrite this equation below. So it'll become -8x plus y equals -16. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these equations together. So I'll write it. Let's add these equations together. So what will my new equation become? And I'll write that one in purple. So the equal sign stays here. Make sure your equal signs are lined up, otherwise it gets tricky. Always do it with numbers on this side and the variables on the other side. Otherwise it becomes a complete mess, and you're making yourself do a lot more work. -8 plus -16 is -24. And if you look here, the y's, -y plus y equals 0. So that's good. That's what we want. That becomes 0. And this becomes -4x. So let me erase that 0 because that's confusing. So it's -4x. Now all you're going to do is solve for x. Divide by -4. Divide by -4. So x equals -6. Or positive 6. Because negative divided by negative is a positive. And to find y, so let's use -4x plus y equals 8. And just all you're going to do is take this 6 and plug it in and solve for y. I'll pause here.